Hello everyone, welcome back to this new episode of the Blacklight Challenge. Today, it's all about poking around this obscure service and trying to find our way in. Let's get started. So in the previous episode, we've performed port scanning. We found that there is flag 1 under the web root, and we found another port, 9072, which is nothing but the obscure service. If you remember from the previous video, we also performed a brute force attempt against the SSH service using the blacklight.dictionary that we've downloaded from the web root, but we didn't find any valid credentials. We also ran a deep port scan, but we didn't find anything other than those three services. So from a TCP perspective, I think we are covered here. Let's spend some time understanding how this obscure service works. And if we don't find an entry point, then we can try with something else like UDP scan. All right, let's try read hash. Okay, we have a hash here. Right, I'm going to copy it and paste it in a file. Let's call it hash.txt. You have one more command until the server shuts down. Choose wisely. I guess that read hash was just to throw us off, because now we have only one attempt to make this work. I'm not really sure how this works, but I'm going to try with a reverse shell, because if I try with something like exec ID, I might get an answer back, but the server would shut down. So I'm going to use my favorite tool, ngrok, to expose an internal netcat listener. So ngrok tcp 8888. And meanwhile, I'm going to create a listener on that port locally. I'm going to look for a reverse shell. I'm going to choose my favorite, which is this one. And I'm going to paste it right here. But I need to update the IP address and port. So I'm going to first build my full string. So the IP and port would be the ones that are exposed by ngrok, this one, space, and the port number. So copy the entire payload, paste it right in, just to make sure I didn't do any typos. Bin bash netcat, yep. Good. If everything goes well, we should have a prompt on our listener. Drum rolls, enter. We don't get any feedback from here, which is probably a good indicator. Oh, perfect. So we've got a prompt, and it seems like it's a root prompt, the square here. So if I type ID, indeed, I am root. Perfect. But I'm root already, but without accessing the flag 2, which is what I don't like about some of these boxes, is the fact that there's no good design, if I will. But nonetheless, it's a general bad practice to run services as root, and this is also a problem in the real world. So because we are root, we can go to any place we want. So let's go to /home just to do some enumeration. And yeah, so we have a user called Blacklight. Cool. So cd to Blacklight. Do we have anything interesting here? We have a hash.txt. I guess that's the same hash we had before. We also have console.rb. So that's a Ruby script, console. And we recognize the source code behind the service running on the what was initially an obscure service. Now we've learned that it's a Ruby script that is exposing the port using tcp server.new And yeah, it's listening for incoming connections, and it's testing for the commands. And for the exec, for example, it's running the system function with the command that is passed on as an argument. It's increasing the counter. If the counter equals 2, connection puts by, and then the service is shut down. Okay, so this service is no longer an obscure service. In the next video, we're going to hunt for the second flag. So until then, stay curious, keep learning, and go find some bugs.